to follow away to you. 'Cause at the end of the day, I ain't looking for no reason to change. 'Cause everything is good for you. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end in sight. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light than love. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end in sight. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light than love. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. Can you feel it? The fire in your soul, leaving at the chance for love. Can you feel it? Haunting your senses, letting all your feelings go. But I can feel it rushing through my veins. Your love's the only drug I know. But we've been playing the hand now we're dead, but we can light it up. I know that we can make it through the night, but I can feel the fire inside, so there won't be no fear tonight.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for yet another night of essentially daily matches at this point. We've had a lot going on this week, I should say, here at the Valley. Of course, if you haven't been following, LVC Rainbow Six has played 3 matches as of right now. They have a 4th one scheduled for tomorrow night, so I'll mention that at the end of the stream, but be sure to tune in for that one later tomorrow night. But tonight here we have LVC Rocket League taking on Champlain College. This is a team I don't think LVC has played in about a couple semesters. I think they played them like last fall, if I remember correctly. I do remember seeing LVC versus Champlain at some point, but I'm just not 100% sure on the timeline. But that's not what matters right now. What does matter is the standings of the NECC Champions Northeast A Division, where LVC is currently sitting at 3rd place. They are sitting at 3-1 alongside Champlain, who is also 3-1, alongside Mount Union, who is also 3-1. That's just in reverse order of who is 3rd, 2nd, 1st. So if you want me to reiterate it in the correct order, Mount Union sitting at 3-1 with an 11-5 game count. Champlain sitting at 2nd at 3-1 with a 10-7 game count, and LVC sitting at 3-1 as well with a 9-7 game count. So this match, if you couldn't tell, is very pivotal for this team to win. Very, very important in terms of playoffs. And if you are unfamiliar with the playoff format, I'm going to back up a little bit to explain this in an attempt at a small little diagram here. So at the top of NECC, you have your tiers, essentially. So that is your Challengers Division, your Champions Division, Navigators, Emergents, Legends. All of those are your tiers. So in those tiers, there are separate regions, which includes what LVC is part of in the Northeast region. You have your Mideast region, your Central Atlantic, all of that sort of stuff. And within those regions, you have your divisions. So LVC is placed in the Champions tier in the Northeast region in the Northeast A Conference. So within that conference, the top 4 make the playoffs. And alongside the top 4 in the conferences, they will take on the top 4 in the other conference within the region. So the top 4 Northeast A, which currently would be Mount Union, Champlain, LVC, and SMU, St. Mary's, would take on the top 4 in the Northeast B division, which features a lot of familiar faces if you've been around LVC Rocket League for a while, including Arcadia, University of New Haven, up in Connecticut or Massachusetts, one of the two, and even Alvernia Gold, a few players that we're very familiar with here at LVC. But of course, that is for a couple weeks from now. Again, just focusing back in on this conference. LVC sitting at 3rd place. If they win tonight, they move up to 2nd. And if they lose, then they might even move down to 5th place, depending on how... Actually, University of Delaware, I remember watching that series. They won 3-1 over, I believe it was SMU. So currently, SMU and University of Delaware both sitting at 2-2 apiece. So if LVC loses this, it's not the end of the world, but they will guaranteed need to win next week against Delaware. So if they can win tonight, they can basically confirm their spot for playoffs and also make themselves at that 2nd seed, possibly get a shot at the 1st seed depending on what happens with Mount Union tonight and next week. Very, very important stuff going on tonight. And I will real quick introduce the teams here. First off, we'll start with Lebanon Valley. Of course, you know them, you love them, the LVC Rocket League team. If you aren't familiar at this point, a very, very strong showing so far. 1 total loss across the entirety of the regular season, including a lot of very strong stats. We are seeing at least in NECC play a total of 2 goals per game for the team, and this is in NECC play in this conference. This isn't overall, but in their division here, 2 goals a game, averaging 4 saves a game, which is a pretty big stat, especially with how close a lot of their games have been, while also putting on 8 shots per game, almost 8.5, which is very solid stats. If we turn that to the overall, which includes NACE and the CRL qualifiers, all that sort of stuff that they have played so far, we're seeing an average of 3 goals per game, 2.4 assists per game, and even up to 4 saves a game. And something I really want to mention, I mention this every single stream because, again, it is it is a very big stat, and it's really a showing of why LVC is so successful. We go to the demos per game. There are 5 demos per game overall for LVC, which is not very common among many teams. You very rarely see a ton of demo-heavy teams like LVC, and that is really why they're so successful in what they are able to do. And because of that, it allows for those open opportunities to get more shots on target, to get more goals into the back of the net of their opponents. So something to really look out for, again, is the demo-heavy play style of LVC. Now, let's discuss their opponents a little bit. Champlain College. So, while I don't have a ton of information on this team, I will say, again, their record says it all. Their record, they are 3-1 overall, and they have only lost 7 total games. They are currently sitting at 10-7 in their game count. Now, while that's only a positive 3 difference, to be quite honest, that is really solid for a division like this. You have to think about the quality of the division as well. This is the NECC Champions division. So, and in Champions, you are right under Legends, which is all of like the essentially bubble teams, where you have your Fishers, you have your I don't know why I forgot what their name is, Northwoods, that sort of thing. Very intriguing stats there, but now we are into the game. We are ready to get going here as we just wait for the players to pop into the map itself, and then we can get things going and get ready to kick it off. And that is what's going to happen here. So we will kick it off. Game number 1, LVC, Champlain College, battle for second, possibly first place. Let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see right there off the kickoff, Samus goes for that demo, and he gets it. That's basically a dead ball there for Bichette. Had an opportunity there, had a one-on-one for just a second, but again, just not a lot of boost between either of the players, so there's not many moves you can make. Solar looking for a redirect, almost gets it. He would have turned his car a bit more to the left there. He probably would have had it. So he'll continue the pressure for Champlain, but not for very long. Bichette's flying in for a demo there. Frenchie now downfield, looking to get it mid. At least gets the bump onto Solar, continuing to bump him. Can his pass get through? No. But look at that. That is a triple commit from Champlain. And that ends up costing them for a goal. It'll be Samus putting that one through. You can see the matching cars for Samus and Bichette's there. Also, I'm also noticing that Samus completely changed his car here from what we've seen in previous weeks. There's going to be a touch. That actually was on net. The redirect from the teammate there from Champlain, not quite there. And LVC continue to ramp up the pressure. Frenchie going to put this one off the backboard. Has to wait to grab some boost. Samus will come through. Bichette's also down in the mid lane, looking for the pass out. You can see LVC, the rotations are very clean right now, very on point. You can very clearly tell who's getting the ball, but that's an incredible shot from Solar. Goes all the way up to the ceiling. And that 50 from Birdie, maybe just as incredible. Samus just turned around there, cannot get to the net. And this is the exact series you should be expecting from these two teams. Very similar in terms of their firepower. And another demo there. That's the 3rd in the game already for LVC. Actually, maybe the 4th. With they're going to almost give Frenchie some space, but it'll have to go to Bichette's to get the pass downwards. Samus with zero boost here. Has to be very careful with how he goes about it. See Local there. Go for something. Bichette's gets demoed there from Local. But LVC is the one with possession. Frenchie on the reset, not going to get a clean touch off of it. Samus just getting a lob towards net, though. Forces Local to readjust a little bit. Solar putting that back in for Local, almost gets it there. And now with zero boost, Solar needs to be careful in that position. Got caught in the midfield for just a second. You can see him flying back in there. I haven't seen a ton of Birdie, I'll be quite honest. Had that assist there, had the assist on the 50 for the Champlain goal, but really outside of that, this is probably the first action that they're really getting to see here. and it's just not going to be much. Much more of a supporting role. Demo comes through, but Samus is back. That's a very solid demo, but Samus did at least get back for the save. And he's all the way in the Champlain half. A whiff there. Going to give Frenchie a bit more possession. 2:26 on the clock. Neither team really looking like they are in a position to pull ahead just yet. Demo comes in onto Bichette's. Now Frenchie looking to get a touch off the ceiling. Ball will get poked away though. Bichette's, after trying to carry it onto the top of his car, just ends up giving it away. And that's going to be possession again for the side of Champlain here. Very contest-heavy one. We haven't seen a lot of teams give this sort of pressure to LVC. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with it. Good save there from Frenchie. Gets the bicycle kick, but this will be a goal as the net just gets left wide open. And Local just in a perfect spot to toss this one in. Frenchie and Samus both committing to that one. And no one can get back in time. And that is a huge one for Champlain to win. Or, sorry, to get into the back of the net. We've already seen how few and far between goals will be in this series. Birdie getting massively bumped there. Good work from LVC to get him out of the equation for just a little bit. Gives them the ball. Frenchie with a shot on target. And they'll put an equalizer back on the board. It's just punch after punch, blow after blow for these two. Local not able to get up to the top of that net fast enough. Put the ball in a position where it would get saved. Frenchie just trying to lob this one up, ends up getting intercepted by Solar. May have an offensive play here. Samus able to rotate back quick enough. Now Bichette's looking for the double, and he normally hits these, but actually just leaves it for Samus. Great play from LVC. A two-man option there. Bichette's could have gone for the double, but it ends up being Samus flying in from behind. And if you're Champlain, you're, I'd imagine, 98% expecting a double there. And to leave that one for Samus, just a good play from Bichette's. But now Champlain looking to respond. That's a bump, and that's a goal. What was a lead from LVC is erased immediately. Good shot from Birdie, and Solar in the perfect position to go for a bump. Very aggressive game on both ends of the pitch. With just 1 minute remaining, it's really just anyone's game. LVC, though, been looking a bit better when it comes to the passing game. I'd imagine really the only edge that either of these teams has really been able to see. That one almost a crazy redirect there. That shot just a bit off target, but still counts as a save. It was pretty close to getting put in there. And now here comes that infield passing. Demo not quite getting there to Bichette's. He's able to get away from it just in time. Down to 30 seconds on the clock. We may have ourselves an early overtime in this series. As LVC trying to get something through late here. Good pass there from Frenchie to Bichette's. There's not a lot he can do with it. Now Champlain have a chance to attack. And a whiff there gonna come in. And it ends up being the whiff there that gives Champlain the goal. Solar just doing what he can with that one. And it just barely slots in top right. With 6 seconds left. I don't know that there's much that LVC can do in this situation. They can try. And that one just gonna slowly roll away. With just 1 second left on the clock, that's gonna go to Champlain. It's just the small mistakes there that gives Champlain game number 1. And again, this is a very pivotal series for both teams. You can see in the demos category, 10 in total from London Valley and only 3 from Champlain. But you can see the volume of shots still favoring Champlain despite those demos and even the bumps. But also LVC getting a lot of saves on it. And there weren't honestly a ton of quality shots from either side in that game. I mean, you saw the scoreline 4-3, but in reality, there just wasn't a ton of quality in the amount of shots for either side. Just currently waiting on the Champlain spectator to ready on up. I know they run their stream too. They do talk a lot more than I do. But now we head into game number 2. LVC looking to bounce back here. This is something that they haven't really dealt with a lot this season, being down 1-0. Or being down in a series at all. So they may have an early opportunity here. Solar poking that one away, but that's a bit awkward. Just managed to make it work. Now Local making their way around. One's tossed into the infield, and Local trying to, I think, shoot off of that, look for that top left corner, but that is just a very tough angle to shoot from. Bichettes with 0. Gonna have to go for this top boost. That's gonna let Samus take the ball. Only a big touch though. Not gonna get anything out of it. As now Samus gets an open shot, but Birdie doesn't get bumped enough. Managed to just barely sneak into the net there. And now Solar with a shot on target. Frenchie barely getting back for that save. Now LVC gonna have to find a way to get out of this. This is a very sticky situation, and it's a double from Local. Slamming it home for Champlain. Off the ceiling, off the backboard. Samus just not able to cover enough of the net. Everything so far going their way. How will LVC respond? Reset in from Birdie. Give a big one over to Bichettes. Demo comes in onto Samus, so that should be at least a shot on target for Champlain. Frenchie not gonna get there in time. He does get the bump though. That allows Samus to take this shot, and look at that placement from Samus. Top left corner. He'll take that pocket any day of the week. Pass from Bichettes gives Samus the open range on the shot. And he'll take advantage of the space. Great work from the tonical weapon there. He'll be up once again. Trying to get it over top of Solar. He did just enough on it. Bichettes should be here for the save, and he does get it. Plays that one-on-one very nicely. Now he's gonna get a chance to get a pass forward, but gets demoed right before he's able to get to it. And Samus with 0 boost just has to back away from this one. Or at least get it back infield. LVC now looking to put the pressure onto Champlain. Something that they haven't really been able to do a whole lot of throughout the series. Birdie for a bump there. And now Bichettes looking to get this one mid, has an opportunity, and that's gonna be a perfect demo from Bichettes onto Birdie, and also gets the assist off the pass. Those are the types of plays you want to see from Lebanon Valley if they want to take a series like this one. Great work there. Great coordination. And that's going to be a rocket on target. But Bichettes able to get back. He did at least have the boost to go for that one. Frenchie trying to get out. Gets the demo onto Solar, but Samus has to go back for the save and just barely getting back in time to contest that touch. Would have been a goal otherwise. Off the back wall. It's going to be a double whiff from Solar. That's going to allow the pass to go right to Samus from Bichettes. Going to get blocked, but it's a good idea. With 2:18 on the clock, it's going to be Solar looking for the double. Gets contested though. Samus continuing to send it downfield. Champlain doing a great job of contesting a lot of these touches, not allowing a ton of passes to come out from LVC, at least accurate ones. And that's really going to be the key if you want to take down LVC in a situation like this one. But again, LVC still holding a lead here. Getting a 2-goal cushion would be massive. And that's going to be a really tough 50. Doesn't end up leading to a shot that goes towards the target. And now Samus is in a very tough spot with 0 boost. Managed to make the save. Machets managed to get back 2. Great defense from LVC. Something I just haven't really touched on a ton about this LVC roster is their defense, as it really hasn't mattered a ton because of how effective their offense has been. But really, it comes down to a lot of the time the saves that LVC are able to make. We've seen them get so many great touches on their saves and even great passes out from the saves that allow for offensive possession to take place. And the counters really where LVC is shining a ton this season. It's going to be Solar trying to get it downfield, and that's going to be a whiff, one whiff for LVC, and also a 50, but somehow LVC again escaping for the time being with nothing on the board from Champlain. But Birdie trying to pass it around. End up giving it to Local, and that's a free shot on target. Machets tries to rotate out, but just unfortunate timing for him. And that's the equalizer from Champlain that they needed. And with 35 seconds remaining, it's again looking like we saw in game number 1. But will LVC be able to put the leading goal on this time around? Or will it be Champlain looking to go for that 2-0? They even have a chance at an overtime here. But again, Champlain looking to get control. Machets looking for the redirect, at least gets the touch onto it. That's going to give LVC some pressure here. Off the backboard, that's going to be a very tall touch from Champlain, and LVC just letting that hit the ground. It will be overtime in game number 2, as is expected. Frenchie at least getting a second touch there, but that's going to be a shot on target. Machets doesn't get there. It's a 2-0 lead for Champlain. LVC needing a reverse sweep here if they want to keep themselves in a guaranteed playoff spot. And this is going to be a tough one for LVC to claw back into. If we take a look at the stats here, again, the volume of shots for Champlain really being the difference there. 12 in total from Champlain and a measly 4 from LVC. While shot quality isn't really a huge thing for Champlain, it doesn't matter when you're just putting on so many more than your opponents. Doesn't matter how many saves you can get. If you're shooting or out shooting the opponents by 8 times. Sorry, 3 times, something like that. Then it really does not matter. Then Frenchie, though, off the kickoff, putting one through. Again, LVC starting with a lead. Good demos in the midfield. Allowed Frenchie to get aggressive, make that play right in front of the net. So again, early on, LVC holding a lead, but they have not been able to keep on them. And we actually have not even seen a 2-goal lead at a singular point in this entire series. Local gonna get bumped there, but look at how fast Birdie was there. That's gonna be a great 50 right into the midfield for Frenchie, but it does get blocked. Again, Local just trying to keep it through. Birdie looking out towards mid, not gonna get there. And a 50, gonna put this down to Machets. And that shot is somehow on target. What a shot from Local in that position. I'm not sure how that one goes in. Fantastic work from him. And he puts another equalizer on for Champlain College. They are continuing to keep up with LVC and do them one better. Off the back wall. Is there anything LVC can find? It should be Samus to take this one. He has looks for the reset, but doesn't really have the boost to make it happen. And now Champlain with a chance at a counter. Solar not maybe getting the touch he wanted there. And now 50 over to Bichette. Can he turn fast enough for this one? At least can get it out towards the midfield. Tries to get a bump onto Solar, who's going to carry this one out. And may have an opportunity to shoot this one. He gets an open net. Champlain with the lead once more. Just continually one step ahead. That's a double from LVC there too. Not an ideal play. Lebanon Valley on the back foot. Still have 3:20 left in it to at least attempt to force a game 4. Bichette's, Samus and Frenchie here trying to get something going, trying to get something to go their way. Now one. Keep LVC in it offensively for now. But is there a shot that will go through? No. Local out on the top of his car. Bichette's trying to get a redirect here, not gonna get to it. Samus just trying to put one on target. Again, not there. Samus doing enough to send this one out to Bichette. Should be on target, and it is. Does get saved, though. And again, LVC just not being able to show a whole lot offensively in this series. Now Bichette's gonna get it out mid. Does have Samus, though, for an outlet pass. Does get contested by Local Banana. And now they're flying off the ceiling. Won't end up getting it, but they do find a demo. And that may just be lead to a goal, but not quite. Samus is still there on defense. Now it'll be Bichette to carry this one out. As he just looks to put that one on target, just a bit off. Ends up hitting the backboard. And LVC slowly but surely running out of time. They only need one goal to at least force an OT once again. From this position, LVC has just not been able to do a whole lot offensively. Everything has just been locked up from the side of Champlain. This may look for another shot. Solar doesn't get there in time. 50 out mid. Gonna go to Frenchie. Actually, no. Frenchie and Samus are not, or sorry, Frenchie and Bichette are not there, and that's gonna be a goal. That's gonna be the first 2-goal game, or 2-goal lead of the entire series. And it may not come, but at a better time for Champlain. They may just be in prime position to close this one out. As Frenchie off the ceiling, trying to put that one on, doesn't get there in time. Somehow a save gonna come through. Now Frenchie looking to put another one on target, but again, it is just saved from Champlain. And the writing may start to be put on the wall. See the retreat from Solar, just no boost to be had. But somehow, Sam's gonna get this one through, looks for the bump on the bird, he doesn't get there. We're just 35 left. It may very well be a Champlain series. Bichette's trying to at least get something here. Samus out from the corner. Nothing there. And now Solar just gonna let that one roll on in, and Local putting it to a 3-goal lead, and that should be the series. Champlain putting their foot down, looking to take a 3-0 at what couldn't come at a better time. The top 3 teams sitting at 3-1. Now we see gonna have to fight for their position in playoffs next week against University of Delaware, who took down SMU tonight 3-1. If LVC wins next week, they will at least still stay in playoffs. But if they lose, And there's a good chance that they don't make it. And Champlain going to take the 3-0 sweep over LVC. Not something that we see very often, but here we have seen just that. And look at the amount of shots from LVC. 14 in that game. Just not enough to get the job done. And you can see how top-heavy this Champions division really is. So Champlain will move to 4-1. LVC will move down to 3-2. With SMU's win tonight, they also move up to 3-1 actually on the season. So very interesting stuff, at least in terms of where the standings will be after this week. I'm very curious to see what will go down here, but of course we have next week in the last week of matches for both NACE and NECC play, but that is still to be determined what all happens there. Looking at the rest of the season here, or at least the rest of the week. I say rest of the week, it's Friday, but the rest of the week here, LVC Rainbow Six will be taking on UNC Greensboro tomorrow night to close out NACE play. So be sure to tune in for that. And if you aren't already, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LVC_esports on both those platforms to be updated on all of our matches and all of the content that we do push out over the course of the season. And also follow us here at Lebanon Valley College on Twitch. Turn those notifications on to see when we're streaming and who is playing on our stream on when we go live. That is going to do it for us tonight. We hope you all enjoyed. It was a bit unfortunate of a 3-0 loss there for LVC, but they look to bounce back next week where they take on Manchester University, North Dakota State Green, and University of Delaware to close out NACE and NECC play in the regular season. We'll see you guys hopefully here tomorrow night for LVC Rainbow Six taking on UNC Greensboro. We'll catch you guys then.